Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever watched a really bright, capable child completely freeze up the second they're told to sound it out, then you absolutely know the frustration of traditional reading instruction. I mean, for decades, we've blamed the child's working memory or, their phonological processing, but what if the way we've been teaching them is fundamentally upside down? Let's dive into this because we're looking at a completely new paradigm in reading science today.
I want to start right here with this. The container was always wrong, the voice was never the problem. This is a profoundly disruptive quote from Amanda Tinnen, a researcher at Chrysalis Literacy. And what she's arguing is that when a dyslexic child struggles to read, we really shouldn't be pathologizing their brain or their voice. Instead, we need to take a hard look at the educational framework we're forcing them into. The container is broken. So how exactly is it broken?
Section 1. The blending problem. Let's look at exactly why sounding it out doesn't always work.
Think about the traditional blending procedure we all know. Step 1. Hold the first sound. Step 2. Hold the second sound. Step 3. Smash them together. But honestly, think about the cognitive load happening right there. Holding on to those completely disconnected phonetic units heavily taxes a child's working memory. It's literally like asking someone to hold 3 random puzzle pieces in their mind and assemble them perfectly without ever having seen the picture on the box.
Which leads us to this really crucial question. What if there is no target? The massive paradigm shift here is realizing that these kids aren't just failing to execute a simple procedure. They're failing because they lack what researchers call a phenomenological schema. Put simply, they don't have that physical gut feeling for what a word actually is. And if you don't know what a word feels like as a unified event, well, you're just blending toward nothing.
Section 2. The shape of a word. Let's make that invisible acoustic reality visible.
Okay, welcome to the Vowel Hills. This is all based on Goswami's temporal sampling framework. We know dyslexic brains can really struggle to process super-fast acoustic changes, so we map the words out physically. Different vowels act as hills with their own specific terrain. The steepness of the hill actually represents the amplitude rise time of the sound in the physical world. It shows us that a word isn't just a bunch of letters flat on a page, it's a physical shape you can climb.
Traditional phonics usually teaches vowels in alphabetical order, right? A, E, I, O, U. But acoustic science says, wait a minute, we should actually order vowels by their perceptual distance, basically how easy they are for the ear to tell apart. So the absolutely crucial point here is that we start with phase 1, the short A. It's got this wide, nearly flat hill with maximum acoustic energy. It's the absolute easiest terrain for a struggling reader's brain to track. And then we move to its polar opposite, the steep, narrow peak of the short I.
Section 3. Gates, Bleats, and Hills. Navigating the kinetic terrain of speech.
Let's contrast the physical, articulatory mechanics of different consonants, which in this framework we call gates. Take mem and nen, the goats. They represent nasal sounds like m and nin. Think about it. To make an M sound, your lips are just gently resting together. It takes very, very low physical energy. Contrast that with Viv, the frog, representing the sustained friction of a V sound. The actual placement of your lips and your tongue directly dictates the biological energy required to open the gate and start saying the word.
And once you open that gate, you let out a bleat. A bleat is simply a vowel. It's this short, clear burst of ringing sound that carries continuous acoustic energy right over the hill. I just love this definition because it brilliantly illustrates how a vowel is not just a written letter. No, it is a physical flow of air right out of your lungs that connects all the different parts of a word together.
Section 4. The energy of speech, the biological math behind reading.
Okay, please don't let the math scare you here. Let's just break this equation down super simply. This is the biological math of reading. It basically says that speech requires available energy, which is represented by E, minus the cognitive costs of transitioning into sounds and co-articulating sounds. Every single time a child speaks or reads a word, their brain is quite literally solving an allostatic energy equation. Just like your smartphone battery draining during the day, these kids have a finite cognitive budget.
And here is exactly why that matters. Look at the allostatic cost of these consonants. Nasals like M and N are super low cost. Fricatives, like F and V, are mid-cost. But stops, sounds like G, K, P, or T, they have a very high cost. They have this abrupt, explosive onset that completely spikes the brain's transition cost. So starting a reading lesson with high-cost stops, that burns straight through a dyslexic reader's cognitive budget before they've even reached the vowel.
Just compare the traditional phonics sequence, which usually throws high-cost explosive sounds like st and p right at the start, to the new ISRM sequence, M, N, H, B, P. We start with low-cost nasals and gentle breaths. By starting with those low-cost points, we preserve the child's energy. It lets struggling readers successfully feel a word's physical shape and climb that vowel hill without just instantly exhausting their working memory.
Section 5. Honoring voices and names, and why dialect should absolutely never be pathologized.
Take a look at Aster. She's this incredibly powerful character in this learning world. Now, in English, her name sounds like a flower or a star. But in Amharic, her name is pronounced astair, meaning a staircase. Through her story, kids learn that if your name has been mispronounced or anglicized, it is not an error on your part. Your name is a word with profound, deep history. Honoring a child's voice means honoring the words that inherently belong to them.
Then we have Luna. And Luna teaches us all about vowel flexibility and the hidden gold buried beneath words. She shows children that English spelling isn't actually this chaotic mess. For instance, when you look at the word Monday, it's spelled with an O because of its etymology. It's the moon's day. Luna demonstrates that English spelling makes perfect sense when we actually respect the morphological history of where these words originally come from.
So let's tie all of this together. The journey of a word is so much more than just a bunch of disconnected letters staring at you from a page. It is a kinetic, physical event. It starts with intent, opening that consonant gate. Then you get the energy rise, climbing the hill of the amplitude envelope. Next up is the vowel peak, that clear, ringing bleat. And finally, arrival, the coda gate closing. Reading is, from start to finish, a unified experiential event.
I want to share this genuinely beautiful quote from the source material. From a hill in Bohol to the monasteries of Lalibela, one continuous terrain. This really emphasizes the sheer universality of this method. Whether you are speaking Canadian English, General American, or carrying the rich etymology of Amharic, speech is one mapped physical landscape. Everyone has a place in it.
Which leaves us with this final really provocative thought. If we stop treating reading as this rigid, abstract procedure, if we stop trying to fix a child's working memory or correct their natural voice, and instead map out the true physical shape of words, what entirely new worlds might open up for the reader? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this completely changed how you look at the letters on a page. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.